Welcome back, all you wonderful, sexy human beings, and reptilians, and goblins, wizards, trolls, fairies, unicorns, and anything else in the magical realm. Welcome back. Earlier we streamed some pumpkin pie, and I have that right now. Let me set the mood. Okay? First off, hold on. Let me pause my TV because I can hear it. And it's SpongeBob playing. One second. Spudgy, do not start. Go lay down. Now. Go on. Okay. I hope I didn't even check. One second. Give me 1 second. I did not check my... Nope. Let me log into my channel points real quick so I can make sure those are up and going. I need to get my parachute game going too. Let me see if I can get that real quick. 1 second. Hey, Shredder, no. Hey, no. Stop it. Stop. It's just a beep from a car. You don't need to freak out. I promise you it's all okay. Shredder! 1 second. I'm gonna do this because I know they're gonna bark. Okay, now the doggos are situated. Right? Beef, get away from the window. Beef. Barf. Barf. A beefy boy. Thank you. Okay. Add. Can you go lay down? Spudgy. No, don't start. There's just a lot of action going on outside. So they're barking a lot. Spudgy? Spudgy? I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if you guys don't shush. I'm sorry, did you say something? Did you say something? You. Did you say something? I thought so. That is exactly what I thought. Okay. 1 second. Hi. I know, right? We are. Except Beefy Boy. Beefy Boy wants the lovin's. Hello, Shuka Kaito. Right now, I am... There it is. I'm trying to see if I can get the parachute game up and going real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to because... Yeah. Never mind. Forget that. Okay, so I just like to see and make sure my Twitch points are going. I didn't check this beforehand, I'm sorry. But I have to check it because I have to, every time I unplug my computer, it acts like it like restarts. Like, not restarts, like complete, like it doesn't save any settings or any, like it acts like it just got like interrupted and shut down or something. Because it needs a new battery. I don't fucking know why. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, let's see if that works now. 1 second. There we go. Cool. Oh, yay! Okay, good. Good deal. Yeah, I don't know. I messed around with it a little bit, and I think resetting OBS helped a little bit. Like, not resetting, but like the moving from the kitchen to here, I have to like unplug everything, and since the battery won't stay on, it fucks up the computer, but I think maybe that helped reset OBS. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna set the mood real quick before we start reading. First off, we have this pumpkin pie that I made earlier. I took a bite out of the side. Disregard that. And then we got a chocolate chip cookie right here. Oatmeal chocolate chip cookie because I need calories, so I put oatmeal in it. And then we've got our pumpkin brittle candle going. Delicious. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna tell some scary stories. And we have, of course, our Halloween blanket next to us, right? We gotta get the Halloween feels up in here. My air freshener is apple crisp. Setting the mood. That's what's important right now. And the pie is really good. So I forgot to add evaporated milk, and I realized that when the pie was in and I was cleaning off the counter, but I just didn't say anything. And it still tastes really good. So I'm not sure, like the evaporated milk, it adds to texture, but I'm not sure what else evaporated milk does for pie. So just saying, if you forget it ever, it's not a big deal. I would say without the evaporated milk, the pie is like a lot lighter tasting too, which is kind of nice. Yes, my banger is dirty. I'm sorry, I didn't clean it. I was going to today, but we all know I wasn't going to. Oh, yeah, me either. I've only used it for pumpkin pie, and I've never really questioned what it's for. But this is the first time I've ever forgotten it. Not too bad, though. This pie will probably be gone in like a day or two. One day, Mexican drinks. Oh, like, is it in horchata? I probably say that so white, like, horchata. Horchata. I don't know. Dang, this torch is loud as fuck. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's funny you say that because my grandma would always call me Jessica. I have a hangnail on my finger and it hurts so fucking bad. Yeah, my grandma, she learned like this, what's it called? Castilian Spanish. So like, me llamo, they would say me llamo. I'm not too familiar with it, but that's the type of Spanish that I've learned. But I don't know what Castilian really means. I don't know what that means at all. Oh, also, I got a fall leaf lighter. I mean, I've had this for like a long time. But just to add to the fall feel, am I right? Oh, I think that's a new follower. Thank you for the new follow, whoever that was. I know, I love lighters. I usually have like a shit ton because like I'll be sitting with one and then lose it in like 2 seconds. So, absolutely. Oh, I absolutely believe that. Nargrim. Welcome to the stream, by the way. If you just, I don't know if you just followed me or whatever, but thank you for the follow if that was you. My dogs are gonna start barking here in a second. Hold on. Because I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like moshing with the cupboards next door. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know how they make so much noise because the walls are cinder blocks. It's not like a wooden wall or wooden. Yeah. It's not like drywall though. It's not like we're like knocking and like stuff makes a lot of noise. It's a full-on cinder block. So like how do you sound like you're banging against a wall so much? I don't know. Well, welcome. Oh, welcome. Okay. Well, we are eating pumpkin pie right now. I have a blister on my tongue from, not a blister, but like, I got a boo-boo on my tongue. You know when you eat too, okay, see, I call them canker sores, and I was informed that they are not canker sores, because canker sores are sexually disease related. I always thought canker sores meant like when you eat too many sour Skittles and like you get that sore on your tongue. I thought that was a canker sore. And that's just like when I was younger, I thought bukkake meant bullshit. So I'd go around saying that's bukkake, thinking I'm saying that's bullshit. So once again, I run into this issue again in my life. Oh, Shukaikaito's getting a call. A call? Now we finally get into the stories, though, that I remember with this book. I know. Hello, first-time chatter. Little kawaii mistress. Yeah, that's my story as a kid, doing that as a kid. Yeah, as a kid, doing that as a kid. I don't do that anymore as an adult. After I learned what bukkake meant, I don't do that anymore. Actually, sometimes I do, just for the fun of it. But I learned that canker sores recently are not just a regular sore that you get from eating sour stuff. So I was eating too much sour stuff today and spicy stuff for myself. So my tongue kind of hurts. That's okay though. I'm not sure what that means. Noel. No. What is that word in what language? Anyway, we are going to be finishing book 1 of Scary Stories. I am celebrating Halloween. We are starting this week off strong because I believe Halloween is next Monday. So every day this week I'm going to try to dress up as something. I did something easy today. Tomorrow I think I'm going to be a mummy because I want to do a photo shoot where I look like a mummy. Oh, cool. I didn't know it was French. But yeah, so I wanted to do a stream every day this week, dressed up, so we got the Pikachu going. And we're going to read the rest of this book because we are not finished. And we're going to enjoy our pumpkin peanut butter candle with our pumpkin pie and chocolate chip cookies. And Halloween lo-fi music playing. If you haven't checked out Halloween lo-fi music on Spotify, I suggest it because it's great. I've been addicted to it. Lo-fi music is great because it just like sets the atmosphere, I feel like. I really love it. I just have like a real big thing for it right now. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm old. I don't really know what that means, to be fair. I do know it's like kind of like maybe like a group chat. Maybe. Mew. Meow. Speaking of meowing, I really wanted a kitten, and I should start looking for kittens again. I get in this mode of wanting them, and then it takes forever for me to find one that I like. Because I really like fluffy cats. Yeah, I have a Discord. I just don't know what it is really and how to function it, so it makes me reluctant to use it. And I know it would be really good if I did. Yeah, I should probably get help with it, honestly. So many people tell me they'll help me, and I should just really have someone help me, because it's just like, I'm reluctant, because it's like, I manage literally like so many platforms right now, and Discord is going to be another one, and it's just, I'm too poor to hire a social media manager yet. I will be able to one day. But okay, when I have it, so when I log into my account again, because I have no idea what my login information is even, I will add you, and then we'll go from there. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, dude. Okay. French Canadian. French Canadian. That was not good. I'm sorry. Was that racist? I'm sorry. I definitely shall. Actually, give me 1 second here. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Anyway. We are going to read the rest of these, and there's not that many, but these are when it gets into the stories that I remember being a little scary. But let's get into it, shall we? This pumpkin candle smells amazing. I just have to say. Okay, so this one isn't a story. This is pretty much describing, you know, when you go to a haunted house and you stick your hands in like a bowl of spaghetti and they're like, oh, it's the intestines. And you're like, ah. That's what this is describing, right? The scary story is a scary game that people play at Halloween, but it can be played whenever the spirit moves you. The players sit in a circle in a dark room. Listen to a storyteller describe the rotting remains of a corpse. Oh my god. Each player is passed around a part for them to feel. And yeah. First is the brain, a wet squishy tomato. Would that feel like a brain? I don't think so. I think like ground beef, like fresh ground beef would be like the best for brain, because it already kind of looks like a brain. I wasn't calling you. You're a whole beef. You're not ground beef. Yeah, and the eyes are the grapes. You know, you get the gist. Hair is handfuls of corn silk. His heart still beats. A piece of raw liver. Why not just get an actual heart? I'm sure you could get like a pig heart somewhere. Have a good rest of your day or night, little kawaii mistress. Thank you for joining. Stay amazing. So that one is that. Okay. Here we go. I think. I don't know. Okay. May I carry your basket? Oh, hold on. Was there any drawings? Oh, there was. This is the drawing for that game. This is what it's like reading with ADHD. Oh, hell yeah. That sounds so fun. Actually, I think that would be fun. May I carry your basket? This is the picture. Pretty cool. I just like the little detail. It makes it like a little bit eerie. Alright. Sam Lewis spent the evening playing chess at his friend's house. It was about midnight when they finished their game. And he started home. Outside it was icy cold, as quiet as the grave. As he came around a turn in the road, he was surprised to see a woman walking ahead of him. She was carrying a basket covered with a white cloth. When he caught up to her, he looked to see who it was. But she was so bundled up against the cold it was hard to see her face. "Good evening," Sam said. "What brings you out so late?" But she didn't answer. I wouldn't either. Then he said, "May I carry your basket?" I would have been like, no. Or ignored him. She handed it to him. From under the cloth, a small voice said, "That's very nice of you." And that was followed by wild laughter. Sam was so startled that he dropped the basket, and out rolled a woman's head. He looked at the head, and he stared at the woman. "It's her head!" he cried, and he started to run. And the woman and her head began to chase him. How does a head... Okay. Soon the head caught up to him. It bounded into the air and sunk its teeth into his left leg. Sam screamed with pain and ran faster. But the woman and her head stayed right behind. Soon the head leaped into the air again and bit into his other leg. They were gone. See, I'm really confused. That's the end of it. I'm really confused how the head is running. Is she running with her head like a football style? Or like, is the head like, does the head have like legs? Or like, are the veins like that? Honestly, I've had nothing but sugar and coffee all day today. Not sugar though, because the stuff that I make has no sugar in it, but like pie and cookies. I did have some ice cream earlier. And a muffin. I've had nothing but like pumpkin things all day today. It's been fun. Anyway, that was so scary. Wow. Other dangers. I just am so confused what was so scary about this when I was younger. Cause I remember my heart beating like, oh my god. Okay, this I remember. This is that car one where it's like they're on a date and like there's like a serial killer with a hook hand on the loose or something. It does. That is hilarious. Oh, you know what, Shuka Kaito? Thank you for the logic. That's probably why it's called what it's called. No, I'm an idiot. I should just turn off all the lights. We don't use logic around here, please. That's too easy. That's too easy. We like to go the scenic route. The long way around, okay? All right. Donald and Sarah went to the movies. Then they went for a ride in Donald's car. They parked up a hill at the edge of the town, from where they could see the lights up and down the valley. That's a weird word. Place to put a period. Donald turned on the radio and found some music, but an announcer broke in with a news bulletin. A murderer had escaped from the state prison! He was armed with a knife and was headed south on foot. His left hand was missing, and in its place, he wore a hook. Let's roll up the windows and lock the doors, said Sarah. That's a good idea, said Donald. That prison isn't too far away, said Sarah. Maybe we really should go home. But it's only 10 o'clock, said Donald. Only 10 o'clock? Oh my god, I am getting old. Only 10 o'clock? Hello, Arlith. I would rather not be out at 10 o'clock. I would literally rather be only in bed at 10 o'clock. Preferably asleep, honestly. That is too late. What are you even doing out at 10 o'clock? Yeah, see, there we go. I'm getting old. I don't care what time it is, she said. I want to go home. Look, Sarah, said Donald. He's not going to climb all the way up here. Why would he even do that? Even if he did, all the doors are locked. How could he even get in? Donald, he could take that hook and break through a window and open a door, she said. I'm scared and I want to go home. As he started the car, Sarah thought she heard someone or something scratching at the door. Did you hear that? She said, as they roared away. It sounded like somebody was trying to get in. Oh, sure, said Donald. Soon they got to her house. Would you like to come in and have some cocoa? She asked. No, he said. I've got to go home. He went around to the other side of the car to let her out. Hanging on the door handle was a hook. No fucking way, man. No way. Crazy. Okay, that's the only time I will make an exception, that I will not be in bed by 10 when I have friends around. Because I want to enjoy the experience of having friends, like, celebrate holidays with me. So I definitely want to stay up and have, like, hilarious, fun late nights with, like, cocoa and, I don't know, roasting marshmallows and whatever the fuck people do late at night on holidays. I know, right? I just remember them being a lot different when I was younger. But hey, they're still entertaining right now. And I would still, if my kid if my kid read books, I would give them these books to read. Like, they're just good kid books to read, you know? Oh, man. Yeah, only when I trip do I pull all-nighters. Other than that, I sleep. But to be fair, like, I sleep, like, 4 or 5 hours. Like, that's, like, my average time. 6 hours seems to be my sweet spot right now, but rarely do I get a full 8 hours of sleep, so even though I like to be in bed early, not all the time am I sleeping also. I just don't like being out doing things late. I just like to be at home, away from people. That's my favorite place to be. With my dogs, chilling at home, walking around with no pants. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. The white satin evening gown. I don't know if I remember this one. Look at that beautiful satin evening gown. How expensive looking. It is comfy like that. And that's pretty much why I judge, like, not judge, but I don't like having people over because I can't not wear pants for the most part. And I know that's like a terrible reason not to have people over, but there's like a certain level of comfortability. Like when Sierra comes over, I don't care to have pants on, but usually I'm like a big t-shirt type of person, like where I wear a big t-shirt and no pants. So it's kind of like a dress in my mind. But I won't do that unless it's like people I'm close to around. Like Sierra comes over, I don't care. But anybody else, I would put clothes on. And I just don't like pants. But usually, if I am super lazy, I would just go for a dress. That's why I wear dresses a lot because people are like, oh, wow, you look so nice and dressed up, when it's like actually easier to wear a dress than it is like to put multiple pieces on. So they think I spent the time dressing up, where I just threw on some shoes and a dress. They just happen to be cute. It's a hack. It's a hack that I've found because I am a lazy girl. Okay. The white satin evening gown. A young man invited a young woman to a formal dance, but she was very poor, and she could not afford to buy the evening gown she needed for such an occasion. Maybe you can rent a dress, her mother said. So she went to the pawn shop not far from where she lived. There she found a white satin evening gown in her size. She looked lovely in it, and she was able to rent it for very little. When she arrived at the dance with her friend, she was so attractive. Everyone wanted to meet her. Ooh. She danced again and again and was having a wonderful time. Then she began to feel dizzy and faint, and she asked her friend to take her home. I think I have danced too much, she told him. When she got home, she lay down on her bed. The next morning, her mother found that her daughter had died. That was a hard turn left. Okay. The doctor did not understand what had caused her death, so he had the coroner perform an autopsy. The coroner found that she had been poisoned by embalming fluid. It had stopped her blood from flowing. There were traces of the fluid on her dress. He decided it entered her skin where she perspired while she was dancing. The pawnbroker said he bought the dress from an undertaker's helper. It had been used in a funeral for another young woman, and the helper had stolen it just before she was buried. Cool. Shh. Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, she died from wearing the dress. I'm never gonna buy a white dress secondhand now. Pretty much. I love that phrase, Shikakaito, Winnie the Pooh it. That's pretty much how I feel. Like, pants are unnecessary here. And pretty much, like, if I allow you in my home, like, you are allowed to not wear pants because I don't wear pants in my home. But that doesn't mean I allow anybody to just take their pants off, but that's why I don't allow just anybody in my home. It's a very select few. That is so cute. I love that. Okay, high beams. Oh, I know this one. This is that one where there's like a killer in the back seat, and I think everybody knows this story, and now we're all traumatized because we look in the back seat sometimes just in case we're gonna die. You know, serial killer, whatever. Anyway, words. High beams. The girl driving the old blue sedan was a senior at the high school. She lived on a farm about 8 miles away and used a car to drive back and forth. She had driven into town that night to see a basketball game. Now she was on her way home. As she pulled away from school, she noticed a red pickup truck follow her out of the parking lot. A few minutes later, the truck was still behind her. I guess we're going in the same direction, she thought. She began to watch the truck in her mirror. When she changed her speed, the driver of the truck changed his speed. When she passed a car, so did he. Then he turned on his high beams, flooding her car with light. He left them on for almost a minute. He probably wants to pass me, she thought. but she was becoming uneasy. Usually, she drove home over a back road. Not too many people went that way, but when she turned onto that road, so did that truck. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Thank you. I appreciate you. My bad. Me too. Usually when I walk up to my car, I see the back windows first and then my front windows. So I like that because I look into it like a paranoid fool. It was comfy, but it's okay. I can lean this way. It's just as comfy. I've got to get away from him, she thought, and she began to drive faster. Then he turned his high beams on again. After a minute, he turned them off. Then he turned them on again and off again. She drove even faster, but the truck driver stayed right behind her. Then he turned his high beams on again. Once more her car was ablaze with light. What is he doing? She wondered. What does he want? He wants your butthole. Then he turned them off again. But a minute later, he had them on again, and he left them on. At last, she pulled into her driveway, and the truck pulled right in behind her. She jumped from the car and ran to the house. Call the police! She screamed at her father. Out in the driveway, she could see the driver of the truck. He had a gun in his hand. When the police arrived, they started to arrest him, but he pointed to the girl's car. You don't want me, he said. You want him. Crouched behind the driver's seat, there was a man with a knife. As the driver of the truck explained it, the man slipped into the girl's car just before she left school. He saw it happen, but there was no way he could stop it. He thought about getting the police, but he was afraid to leave her, so he followed her car. Each time the man in the back seat reached up over to overpower her words, the driver of the truck turned on his high beams. Oh! It scared the shit out of me. Scary. Each time the man in the back seat reached up to overpower her, the driver of the truck turned on his high beams. Then the man dropped down, afraid that someone might see him. What a noble sir. That did scare me. That scared me more than these stories do. Okay, the babysitter. This child is terrifying looking. Can you see that? Yeah, that one was good. That scared me a bit. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. Everybody was sitting on the couch in front of the TV. There were Richard, Brian, Jenny, and Doreen, the babysitter. The telephone rang. Maybe it's your mother, said Doreen. She picked up the phone. Before she could say a word, a man laughed hysterically and hung up. Who was it? Asked Richard. Some nut, said Doreen. What did I miss? At 9:30, the telephone rang again. Doreen answered it. It was the man who had called before. I'll be there soon, he said, and he laughed, and he hung up. Who was it? The children asked. Some crazy person, she said. After 10 o'clock, the telephone rang again. Jenny got to it first. Hello, she said. It was the same man. 1 more hour, he said, and he laughed and hung up. Hitler's kid. That's amazing. Yeah, actually, you're right. Oh, so I could shit my pants on stream. What a great idea, Shukaito. What a great idea. It would have been good. That would have been good. Okay, let's see. Don't worry, said Doreen. It's somebody fooling around. I'm scared, said Jenny. Toughen the fuck up, Jenny. It's okay. About 10:30, the telephone rang once more. When Doreen picked it up, the man said, pretty soon now, and he laughed. Why are you doing this? Doreen screamed, and he hung up. Was it that guy again? Asked Brian. Yes, said Doreen. I'm going to call the operator and complain. You know it's old when they call the operator. Not the operator. The operator told her to call back if it happened again. And she would have to trace a call. What the fuck is the operator going to do? Really? Trace a call and then what? At 11 o'clock, the telephone rang again. Doreen answered it. Very soon now, the man said, and he laughed and hung up. Dorian called the operator. Almost at once, she called back. That person is calling from a telephone upstairs. You better leave. I'll get the police. Just then a door upstairs opened. A man they had never seen before started down the stairs toward them. As they ran from the house, he was smiling in a very strange way. A few minutes later, the police found him there and arrested him. That was scary. That was intense. Okay, so I guess apparently these are words. Anyway, these are supposed to make you laugh. Okay? These are supposed to make you laugh. That's what it says right here. But here's the picture. If I can fucking get this. Holy shit, what is wrong with me? Okay. I'm gonna do it this way. Oh god. Holy shit. Okay. There we go. There's the fucking picture. God damn. My bad. My bad, people. My bad. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Things. You know. Okay, let's see how hilarious this is. This is a cute little weird man. Okay, this is called The Viper. A woman lived alone on the top floor of an apartment house. One morning, her telephone rang. Hello, she said. This is The Viper, a man said. I'm coming up. Somebody is fooling around, she thought, and hung up. A half hour later, the telephone rang again. It was the same man. It's the Viper, and I'll be up soon. This is like the last story. The widow didn't know what to think, but she was getting frightened. Once more, the telephone rang. Again, it was the Viper. I'm coming up now, he said. She quickly called the police. They said they would be right over. When the doorbell rang, she sighed with relief. They were here. But when she opened the door, there stood a little old man with a bucket and cloth. I am the Viper, he said. I wish to wipe and wash your windows. I'm sick of this. We're done. Everything is over. I'm sick of it. I hate it here. What in the heck? That one was pretty good. This one is called The Attic. Now I'm scared actually to read this. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It got me. I like this picture. I don't know why. Okay, let's see how this one goes. A man named Rupert lived with his dog in a house deep in the woods. Rupert was a hunter and a trapper. The dog was a big German shepherd named Sam. Rupert had raised Sam from a pup. Almost every morning, Rupert went hunting, and Sam stayed behind and guarded the house. One morning, as Rupert was checking his traps, he got the feeling that something was wrong at home. He hurried back as fast as he could, but when he got there, he found that Sam was missing. No! Find Sam. He searched the house and the woods nearby, but Sam was nowhere to be seen. Oh my god. He called and he called, but the dog did not answer. Oh my god! For days! For days! Rupert looked for Sam, but he could find no trace of him. Finally, he gave up and went back to his work. Wow. But one morning, he heard something moving in the attic. He picked up his gun. No. Then he thought, I'd better be quiet about this. So he took off his boots, and in his bare feet, he began to climb the attic stairs. He slowly took one step, then another, and at last he reached the attic. He stood outside listening, but he didn't hear a thing. But then he opened the door, and Oh, okay. At this point, the storyteller stops as if he's finished, and usually somebody will ask, why did Rupert scream? The storyteller replies, you'd scream too if you stepped on a nail in your bare feet. So I thought he was gonna kill the dog. My heart was pounding. Dude, that was scary. I literally thought I was about to read some story about a dog dying and it was supposed to be funny somehow. That was scary. Okay. This is cool. What a cute little thing. Okay. The Slithery D. The Slithery D, he came out of the sea. He ate all the others, but he didn't eat me. I was stressing hard, bro. Whatever, that's the Slithery D. And he came out of the sea and ate others. Ugh. Ugh. The Slithery D, he came out of the sea. He ate all the others, but he didn't eat Slurp. So then he did get eaten. What a cocky little bastard. That's what you get. That's what you get. Aaron Kelly's bones. I feel like I remember this. By the picture. Shh. None of that. No. Okay. Let me drink some coffee bean juice. Literally, and then God just like snatched him from the earth. He's like, you know what? You're kind of cocky. I don't like you. Boink. Aaron Kelly was dead. Cool. They bought him a coffin and had a funeral and buried him. But that night, he got out of his coffin and he came home. His family was sitting around the fire when he walked in. He sat down next to his widow and he said, what's going on? You all act like somebody died. Who's dead? His widow said, you are. I don't feel dead, he said. I feel fine. You don't look fine, his widow said. You look dead. You better get back to the grave where you belong. Well, damn. I would be happy. I'd be like, oh my God, you're back to life? Oh my God. This is scary, yet exciting. I don't know if I would cry again. I'm not going back to the grave until I feel dead, he said. Since Aaron wouldn't go back, his widow couldn't collect his life insurance. Understandable. Without that, she couldn't pay for the coffin. Well, technically, you could still collect life insurance. He had the funeral and everything. Like, everything was, like, solidified, right? You don't think I look scrumptious? I know, I'd be kind of offended. Considering I go for kind of like that dead girl look, like half alive, half dead kind of thing. Like, I would feel like my significant other should still like me for some reason, you know? Like, you should still want me around. I would be crushed if my wife said that to me. I would never say that. I would never. Anyway, she couldn't pay for the coffin. That's why she's so worried about his life insurance. Apparently, this bitch. This bitch. And the Undertaker said he would take it back. What the fuck is an Undertaker? Why am I seeing this word? Is this like what a person at a funeral home is called? Because that is so bad as AF. That is sick as fuck. So a person who like runs a funeral home could be considered an undertaker. That just sounds so like it sounds like, yeah, it's like a person whose business is preparing dead bodies for burial or cremation and making arrangements for funerals. That that word is just like so like, it sounds like you're like the Undertaker. Like, that just sounds epic. Oh my god, I love that. You learn something new every day, I guess. Anyway, the Undertaker said he wouldn't take the fucking coffin back. Kind of a dick move, but I understand. Aaron didn't care. He just sat by the fire, rocking a chair and warming his hands and feet, but his joints were dry and his back was stiff. And every time he moved, he creaked and cracked. I can absolutely relate. One night, the best fiddler in town came to court the widow. Wow! What a twist of events and what an absolute bitch. Like, your dead husband, he's alive, but he's sitting next to you, and you're still gonna have other men court you? And that soon? I am appalled. I already dislike her. What a bitch. Anyway, since Aaron was dead, the fiddler wanted to marry her. Absolute garbage. You're right, Shuka Kaito. The two of them sat on one side of the fire and Aaron sat on the other side, creaking and cracking. Fucking whore. How long do we have to put up with this dead corpse? The widow asked. Something must be done, the fiddler said. Jeez. Just straight to the fucking chest, man. Fuck. Something must be done, the fiddler said. This isn't very jolly. Aaron said, let's dance. Dance battle. Let's go. The fiddler got out his fiddle and began to play. Aaron stretched himself, shook himself, got up, took a step or two, and began to dance. With his old bones rattling and his yellow teeth snapping, and his bald head wagging and his arms flip-flopping. Yeah! Around and around he went! What's crack-a-lackin'? With his long legs clicking and Nebo's knocking, he pranced around the room. Oh, how that dead man danced, just like Squidward. It absolutely was, because he's literally dancing around the room. But pretty soon a bone worked loose and fell to the floor. Look at that, said the fiddler. Play faster, said the widow. The fiddler played faster, crickety-crack, down a back. The dead man went hopping and his dry bones kept dropping. This way, that way, the pieces just kept popping. Sick rhymes. Play, man, play, cried the widow. The fiddler fiddled and dead Aaron danced. Then Aaron fell apart, collapsed into a pile of bones, all except his bald head bone that grinned at the fiddler, cracked his teeth, and kept dancing. Look at that, groaned the fiddler. Play louder, cried the widow. Ho, ho, said the head bone. Just calling it like it is. Ain't we having fun? The fiddler couldn't stand it. Widow, he said, I'm going home. And he never came back. Widow! What's up, Scooter? Hi, welcome to the chat. Just like, what a... Like, could you imagine, like, some lady is a widow and, like, you just call her that? Like, widow! That's so mean. The family gathered up Aaron's bones and put them back in the coffin. They mixed them up so he couldn't fit them together. After that, Aaron stayed in his grave, but his widow never did get married again. Good. What a bitch. Aaron had seen to that. I mean, technically it's till death do us part, but I hope my future husband, my future husband, he's gonna die with me. When I die, he's gonna die like an hour later because he loves me so much that he's just gonna die of a broken heart. He couldn't bear living on this disgusting planet without me because I'm so magical to him. That's the husband I want. My husband would never remarry. My grandpa, Shuka Kaito knows this, but this is for the rest of Twitch to know. So, my grandfather My grandmother passed away two years ago, right? I didn't know till they were on this little journey of her deathbed that they actually didn't have like a happy marriage. Like they were married what looked happy, but they didn't like sleep in the same room and stuff. But I'd never seen them fight or anything. My grandma cooked all of his meals every day he got home at the same time, and she would cook him homemade meals every single day, did the laundry, took care of the house, raised the kid. Like, it looked like a normal relationship. I didn't find out till on her deathbed that they weren't like in love. So she passed away, right? Okay. So my grandfather messages me, and he does this. I don't know if it's my stuff fucking up, but I think it's how he's sending the message that's fucking it up. But he emails me from his phone, so it's like his email is his phone number. So I think he's trying to text me, but he ends up emailing me. And he just emails me this picture of him with this little old lady, and he's like, "Meet my new friend Nancy." And I'm like, "You absolutely know Nancy fucks." So, because I don't think my grandparents were like getting it the whole 50 plus years they were married. Like, they absolutely did not. And, you know, I don't, I don't, I don't fault him, but at the same time, like, I'm a little irritated that he would be dating, but I don't fault him. Like, I totally get it, but it's like, how could you? But also, like, kudos to you, young man. Kudos to you. To be fair, my grandparents, when they got married, it's like your typical, what seems like the American dream, but if this happened nowadays, people would be like, holy shit, that's a red flag. But, like, my grandma was Mormon. My grandpa met her once, and then and it was like a 4-hour date. And the second time they met, my grandpa proposed, and they got married. He was in the Navy. She was Mormon. He converted to Mormon, whatever, for her. So it was very much like your typical, like, American marriage, but they were not happy. So, like, if they would have, like, kind of, like, not fell to system pressure kind of shit like that, they probably would have been with the right people. So I don't really fault my grandfather for that. It's just a bummer that my grandma wasn't given the right person, because she was such a wonderful person. Oh, dude. Oh, Scooter, do I have some stories for you? I used to work for Caption Call, and what Caption Call was is like, pretend I'm deaf, right? So I have a special phone in front of me that when my grandkids call me, whatever they say appears on this phone in text, so I can read what they're saying to me at the same time. But there's a third party involved, and they translate these phone calls live. So it goes to that machine. So I was that person. So anytime in the elderly home, especially, these are being used because they can't hear very well. So it's to help people who are hard of hearing so they can read their phone calls, you know? Dude, I would get the grossest phone sex calls from them. I am still, to this day, traumatized by the things that I heard on these calls by old people. But it makes sense because they've been around so long. Like, they know everything. They have done almost everything, and they're ashamed of absolutely nothing. Yes. And this was a point of time, I was like 18, 19, so I was still like barely breaking out of the Mormon threshold. Like, I was traumatized, dude. I was like, the one story I remember the most, I'm just gonna say, okay, because I'm gonna spread the trauma, is, and I'm not gonna get too graphic, but one guy wanted to put, and it's so funny because, like, as a girl, we can relate, because, like, when guys start talking this way, I feel like women get very disinterested. So when I'm hearing this phone call, it's funny because the lady, like, totally sounded like she didn't give a shit. She was like, mm-hmm. And this guy was being so gross. He was talking about putting a Tootsie Roll up her cooter and letting it get warm and then going down on her. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, I mean, props to you, old man. Like, kudos to you, but holy shit, it's 9 a.m. in the morning. I did not need to hear this. Like, this is too much for me. This is off the rails. And the policy was, with that stuff, you still translate. So I'm sitting here, sitting at the fucking computer, trying to be as quiet as I can, because we have voice and then texting translating. So when the voice doesn't work, you have to be able to type fast enough to translate it. So I'm trying to talk as quiet as I can, but so it'll still pick it up on my mic. But I did not want to say the shit that this dude was saying, and you have to translate it verbatim, so word for word. So like, that includes sex calls, that includes scam calls. Like, it was the most interesting job I've ever had. Would I go back there for fun? Absolutely. Because it's literally just getting the tea on people's stuff. Like, it was epically, insanely interesting. Like, I can't tell you how fucking hilarious it was. Yeah, most of my shifts were, after a while, they were like in the evening, but for the most part, I was a morning shift person. I know, right? Like, okay, to be fair, like, I don't fault him for the idea. Like, creative as fuck, my dude. Like, I'm really disgusted, but A for the creativity. But yeah, like, I don't doubt that the hookup culture is insane in senior assisted living. So oh my god. Using your walker during hooking up would be insane. Can you imagine? Cuz like sometimes like I feel like those would just be like portable sex devices at a point. I believe that. I believe the food stuff. I believe it. But she was totally, I don't remember the verbatim. I remember the gist of it at this point, but she was totally uninterested. She was like, yeah. And he was like really getting into the idea, and it was making it even more cringy because it was like a one-sided phone call. It was interesting to say the least. Oh, so hot. So hot. Like, have you seen those memes where it's like, I don't know what it is. Let me see. Hold on. Let me just see if I can, let me practice some skills here. So we're gonna learn together. And I'm going to pull up this meme. Odin, hey! Okay. Let me add this to OBS and see if I can do this right. God. That. There we go. That's the meme of the day, guys. Love it. Precisely. You're welcome. Yeah, so that reminded me of that. Down the rabbit hole we went. Okay. We got 2 more stories and they're really short. we're gonna go down a more sane rabbit hole. I hope to experience that when I'm old. No hate. Like, I hope I understand that joke when I'm older. Yeah, cause good for them. Cause I'm still getting laid. Like, hell yeah. Wait till Martin comes. I'm assuming this is a cat story. I don't really remember. But that looks like a cat with some sort of issue. I'm trying to figure out what S&M means, because I don't want to look that up. But what does the S&M stand for? Like, what type of BDSM is it? Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Well, anyway. An old man was out for a walk. When a storm came up, he looked for a place to take shelter. Soon he came to an old house. He ran up on the porch and knocked on the door, but nobody answered. By now, rain was pouring down, thunder was booming, and lightning was flashing. So he tried the door. When he found it was unlocked, he went inside. Except for a pile of wooden boxes, the house was empty. He broke up some of the boxes and made a fire with them. Then he sat down in front of the fire and dried himself. It was so warm and cozy that he fell asleep. When he woke up, a black cat was sitting near the fire. It stared at him for a while. Then it purred. That's a nice cat, he thought. He dozed off again. When he opened his eyes, there was a second cat in the room. But this one was as big as a wolf. Holy shit. It looked at him very closely and asked, "Shall we do it now?" "No," said the other cat. "Let's wait till Martin comes." I must be dreaming, thought the old man. He closed his eyes again. Then he took another look. By now, there was a third cat in the room. This one was as big as a tiger. It looked out at the old man, and it asked, "Shall we do it now?" "No," said the others. "Let's wait till Martin comes." The old man jumped up and jumped out of the window and started running. "When Martin comes, you tell him I couldn't wait," he called. That was just a nail biter. I know. I'm ashamed of it. Hi, Kayla. I hope you're doing well. And now that you are in the stream, it has reminded me I need to pop into my messages tonight. So I will do that. So thank you for reminding me. With your beautiful presence. We've got this last story and this cool little picture. Here. Let's go closer. 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 Okay. Ah, fuck. Okay, that's the best we're gonna get. Oh! I adore you, Kayla. I hope you guys had fun at the fair. I saw some of your pictures. That looks so cute. Your family is so adorable. I love it. By the way, for anyone who sees this later, anyone who's on right now, I don't know if I'm saying it right. K Crow Creations. That's my friend Kayla, and she makes like amazing custom gear if you want like cups or blankets or mugs. Like for the adoptive family, I'm gonna put the ultrasound pictures of Kai on some mugs and have it sent to them. So she's doing that for me. She made my Dunkin' D's Nuts shirt and like Taco Hell and stuff like that, so she can make shirts. She's really fucking great. So hit her up if you want any like holiday stuff. She makes ornaments, like custom everything. So hit her up if you have any things that you want done. She's literally fantastic. Yeah, feel free to drop your link in the chat. I do not mind. The Ghost with Bloody Fingers. A businessman arrived at a hotel late one night and asked for a room. The room clerk told him the hotel was all filled up. There is only one empty room, he said, but we don't rent that one because it's haunted. Just casually, because it's haunted. I'll take it, said the businessman. I don't believe in ghosts. The man went up to the room, he unpacked his things, and he went to bed. As soon as he did, a ghost came out of the closet. Its fingers were bleeding, and it was moaning, "Bloody fingers! Bloody fingers!" Okay. When the man saw the ghost, he grabbed his things and ran. The next night, a woman arrived very late. Again, all the rooms were taken except for the haunted one. "I'll sleep there," she said. "I'm not afraid of ghosts." As soon as she got into bed, the ghost came out of the closet. Its fingers were still bleeding. It was still moaning, "Bloody fingers, bloody fingers," and the woman ran. A week later, another guest, same thing happened. The man paid no attention. This time, he just kept strumming his guitar, but the ghost kept moaning, and its fingers kept bleeding. Finally, the guitar player looked up. "Cool it, man," he said. "Get yourself a Band-Aid." Wow. Hilarious. But that is actually the end of book 1. There are tons of notes in here. And then sources. So, I'm not sure. I think these all come from different original stories. Which is interesting. Yeah. These actually come from longer stories. And so if you get these books, you can see in the back of them, like what the stories, yeah, you know, where they come from. Thank you, Kayla. Yes, go support her business because it's actually really fucking great. She has TikTok and stuff too. But that is the end of that book. And I think sometime this week we'll finish book 2. I have all 3 of them. Ba-pow! So we got 2 more to go. And these aren't as long as I realized. So I do think like I could get through them in one stream. 1 each. The pie is delicious. It's sitting right here. I just haven't eaten it because I've eaten nothing but sugar today. But I can't say sugar because it's like artificial sugar. So does that count as sugar? But since we are finished with this book, I think we are gonna, I know, right? I think we're gonna head out. And Sierra just messaged me, which is perfect timing because I need to work on her gift. Hopefully she doesn't watch this because I delayed it again a bit. So we'll see what she says. But for now, I'm going to work on my YouTube and whatnot. And yeah, so I think we're going to call it good for tonight. But I'll be on tomorrow night. I don't remember what my schedule said. I'm a little bit behind, so we'll see what tomorrow night says. But I'll be on tomorrow night, 5:30. It's either going to be a movie or reading, so we'll see. But you guys have a good rest of your night. As always, thank you for joining, and thank you for being amazing. I always appreciate the support because you guys are fucking fantastic. But yeah, don't forget to hydrate, and if you haven't eaten something, eat something. Eat something healthy, like a granola bar doesn't count. It has to be, you know, a sandwich at least. But take care of yourself. Have sweet dreams. Drink some hot cocoa. Listen to some Halloween lo-fi music before bed. Do something nice for yourself. But you guys stay beautiful, and I will see you tomorrow night. Sweet dreams.